I remember that day like today. All details are as clear as ever. The snow fell in large, slow snowflakes, spreading its snow-white diaper over the peaceful city. I sat in the kitchen looking out the window and thinking about how lucky I am to have Megan. My wife, my love Megan, was everything I ever wanted. Her smile could melt any heart, and her laugh was music to me. I always told her that she was my world. And indeed, on those days when I looked at her, it seemed to me that nothing else was needed, but life sometimes brings challenges that cannot be predicted. A few weeks after that snowy day, I began to notice how our communication was changing. Megan became more withdrawn, and I felt a greater need for recognition, for something to help me fill the void that had appeared inside. It started with a simple message exchange with Julia, an old friend from university whom I happened to come across on a social network. Her messages were friendly at first and then became more and more personal. I knew it was the wrong road, but I couldn't stop. Julia became an outlet for me, something I was missing in my relationship with Megan. I started looking for excuses why I needed these communications. Why couldn't I just be happy with Megan? What happened to us? I was afraid to admit it, but in fact I was looking for new emotions, new experiences, new excitement. The first time I went to meet Julia, I tried to convince myself that it was just a friendly date, that it was not cheating. I arrived at the restaurant and my heart was beating faster than usual. Julia was as attractive as before, but now I could see something in her eyes that made me feel guilty. And yet I continued on, choosing the path of self-indulgence over honesty. With each subsequent date, I became more and more confused, and I could not go back. I was collecting pieces of happiness from Julia and throwing them into the void that had formed between me and Megan. And although I tried to keep the two worlds separate, sooner or later the truth had to surface. And then, one ordinary evening when I came home and saw Megan in our bedroom, all my denial disappeared. Her expression was sad, and in her eyes I saw what I had been trying to avoid for so long, the pain I had caused myself. She was holding an old vacation photo of us, and that was the moment I realized I had lost everything. I arrived at Julia's, and when I saw her, I felt a huge contrast between what I was looking for and what I had. She could no longer fill the void I had left. I felt empty and miserable, realizing that my actions had resulted in the rupture of everything I once valued. Megan didn't say a word. Her silence was louder than any words. I could feel my heart clench in pain as I looked at her broken form. It was as if everything we had built together was falling apart and it was my fault. "Why, Jack?" she finally asked, her voice weak, but the depth of her anguish echoed in it. I didn't know what to answer. My words seemed stuck somewhere between my heart and my mouth. I gathered my strength and tried to explain, but every attempt I made only increased her pain. I saw her tears falling on the pillow, and that was the worst thing. I couldn't stop them. I couldn't fix them. Those days were filled with deep silence and hopelessness. Megan stopped talking to me, and our home, once filled with laughter and warmth, became a wasteland. I understood that it was too late to change anything. After Megan decided to leave, I was left alone with the feelings that had once been part of our happiness. I continued to see Julia, but the joy I once derived from her company now seemed faded and empty. Every interaction we had was like a bad imitation of real life. Julia couldn't replace what I lost. Megan was and still is a part of my soul, and I could see it now more clearly than ever before. One evening, as I sat alone in our now empty apartment, I decided to call Megan. I had hoped that maybe there was still a chance, but a phone call confirmed what I feared. Megan was final in her decision. She will find a new life, new opportunities, and I was left alone, with a sense of guilt that never leaves me. Julia also began to move away. She was no longer the same as before, and while I tried to maintain the illusion that everything was fine, I knew it was just a distraction. Try as I might, I couldn't fill the void that had been created after I lost Megan. And eventually, Julia left too, leaving me with the same questions and doubts as before. Several months have passed. I wandered around the city trying to find solace in ordinary things, but every step reminded me of what I had lost. Every part of the city, every ordinary day that used to be part of my happy life, now became part of my despair. I started writing letters to Megan, even though I knew she would never read them. I wrote about how sorry I am, how much I love her, and how ready I am to change. But that was just my order to the void. One evening I came to our old park where we used to walk together. I sat down on the bench that was our favorite spot and watched the evening sun sink below the horizon. I imagined Megan sitting next to me and us discussing our dreams and plans for the future. But now it was just a ghost of the past. Again, I felt the same emptiness that appeared when I lost her. Megan moved to another city. I learned about it from mutual friends. She started a new life, and her new achievements reminded me that I was a part of her past, but now a stranger. I understood that my actions had led to this, and every day I lived with guilt and loneliness. I tried to find meaning in new beginnings, but none of them could fill the void left by Megan. And here I am, in the same park we once loved. Now this place seems like just a reminder of what I've lost. I look at the horizons and realize that I am left with only memories. Megan has become a part of my past, and I live with that painful reality every day. I continue to live, but not with the happiness I once had. I started visiting the doctor more often. My internal state was deteriorating, and I decided that perhaps professional help would help me deal with my grief. I tried to be open and honest about my feelings, but talking about how I cheated on my wife and lost her was hard. Word by word, I confessed my weakness and how much I was hurting right now. Each session became more difficult, and I felt my experiences consuming me more and more. I couldn't go back in time, but I had to try to fix my life somehow. The doctor advised me to find new hobbies and try to reconnect with people to distract myself from loneliness. I decided that I would try to immerse myself in volunteering. Maybe it will help me find a new meaning in life. I signed up at the local homeless shelter. At first it was difficult. I began to see other people suffering, and it only increased my own guilt. I met people who had lost more than me, and it made me think about my own problems. Over time, I began to get used to the new routine and take some small comfort in the fact that I can help others. However, every day I realized more and more how difficult it is to recover what was lost. I kept thinking about Megan, how I wished I could go back in time and right my wrongs. One of the volunteers, Laura, became a friend to me. She was pleasant and kind, but I could not even allow the thought that I could open myself to her completely. I was afraid that any attempt to rebuild my life might look like an escape from my own mistakes. Laura noticed that I was withdrawn and often stuttered when trying to talk about my past. I began to share my experiences with her, although it was difficult. Laura was patient and always listened, but I felt that nothing could fill the void I had left after the betrayal. In the meantime, I tried to contact Megan through mutual friends to find out how she was doing and if there was any chance of reconciliation. All the answers were the same. She is happy, her life has gone up, and she does not want to return to the past. These news only added to my pain and despair. I understood that I could not change anything. Laura continued to be a part of my life, and we became close friends. I told her about my recovery efforts, my struggles, and everything related to my past. She listened and helped me through my struggles, but I knew I couldn't bring myself to open up to a new relationship. One day I got a letter from Megan. She decided to share her experience and tell how she copes with her new life. The letter was full of words about happiness and new beginnings. I read it with an incredible mixture of joy for her and deep sadness at the knowledge that I was not a part of this new phase of her life. I decided that I needed to accept my mistakes and find a way to forgive myself. I continued volunteering and tried to focus on doing good. My attempts to find solace in my work and in the people I helped became my way of coping with my inner pain. Laura invited me to one of her family celebrations. It was something new for me, and I felt it might be a good opportunity to try to get back to normal life. I was surrounded by people who genuinely cared about each other, and it took my mind off my thoughts about Megan a little. As much as I tried to move on and find new meaning in my life, I continued to feel the emptiness left after Megan was gone. Every day was a struggle, but I realized that the only way to heal was to try to forgive myself and admit my mistakes. I continued to work at the shelter, but not with the same fervor as before. The internal pain I felt seemed endless. I tried to focus on helping others, but the thoughts of how I had betrayed Megan were always with me. I began to understand that my attempts to fill the void were only temporary and could not heal the real pain. My relationship with Laura was becoming closer, but I continued to feel a barrier between us. I knew I couldn't give her what she deserved because my heart was still attached to the memories of Megan. Laura was wise and understood why I became the way I was, but maybe it was just part of my healing process. One evening, I decided to visit our old apartment that I had left after breaking up with Megan. I tried to keep the memories of our happy life there, but now this apartment seemed completely foreign. I walked through the rooms, touching the things that were once part of our happiness. Every item reminded me of what I had lost, and I couldn't hold back the tears. I wrote Megan another letter. This time I tried to be more open, admitting how sorry I was for my actions and how hard it was for me to deal with it. I described my struggle and how I was trying to find a way to fix my life. I hoped that she would at least understand how much I was hurting and how I was trying to change. I got the answer. Megan wrote that she appreciates my words, but she has already found a way to a new life and cannot go back to the past. Her letter was polite but clear. She said she hoped I would find my happiness, but she had already left it behind. These words were like the last nail in the lid of the coffin of our past. I kept going to the doctor and trying to find ways to better deal with the pain inside. I became more open about my feelings and tried to work on myself. My self-respect and inner peace began to return, but I knew that I would not be able to completely forget what had happened. Meanwhile, my life began to gain new momentum. I started taking up new hobbies, such as drawing and writing. It helped me to express my feelings and distract myself from constant thoughts about the past. I found some solace in the fact that I could create something new and useful. Laura continued to be a part of my life, but I knew our relationship could never be the same. I appreciated her support and friendship, but I understood that any new beginnings would only be possible when I found a way to forgive myself and move on. I joined a support group for people who have experienced betrayal or loss. It gave me the opportunity to connect with other people who were going through similar difficulties. Mutual support and understanding became part of my recovery process. After some time, I decided it was time to move to a new place. Maybe a new environment will help me better deal with my memories and start a new life. I found a small house in a quiet neighborhood and started decorating it. My new home was spacious and bright, but at first it felt like a foreign space. I spent a lot of time making it comfortable and warm, trying to create a new beginning for myself. However, even in this new place, the memories of Megan and what I had lost stayed with me. A new life brought with it new challenges. I tried to get used to my new neighbors and find new hobbies, but I felt like I was still wandering in the shadows of the past. My new friends were kind and welcoming, but their support could not fully replace what I had left behind. In one of my attempts to find new activities, I signed up for a photography course. I was fascinated by how a camera can capture moments and preserve them forever. I began to see the beauty in the little things that I hadn't noticed before, and it helped me take my mind off the constant thoughts of Megan. One day I went for a photo walk in the park where I used to hang out with Megan. It was not easy, but I tried to focus on the beauty of the world around me and not on memories of the past. I photographed nature, people, and even tried to photograph myself to better understand my emotions. My pictures became part of a small exhibition that I organized at the local library. This event helped me feel again that I can create something meaningful. People who came to the exhibition talked about how they felt my emotions through the photos, and that gave me some comfort. After the exhibition, I started getting more requests for photos from friends and neighbors. I tried to find joy in helping others see the world through my eyes. It became a new way for me to find meaning in life and perhaps find new opportunities. Laura, having learned about my achievements, came to the exhibition and expressed her support. We talked about my new hobby and how it helped me find a new purpose. Her presence was important to me, but I still felt that I could not allow myself to open up completely because of past experiences. I decided to write a book about my experience. It was a way for me to deal with everything I had been through and to share my feelings with others. Writing became therapy for me, and I felt that maybe it would help me understand myself better. In the book, I described my story, my mistakes, and how I am trying to find a way to heal. I talked about my struggle with guilt and loneliness, about how I'm trying to rebuild my life and find new meaning. The book became for me not only a way to overcome pain, but also an opportunity to share my experience with others who are going through similar difficulties. The book was published, and I started getting feedback from readers. Many of them shared their stories and said how my story helped them deal with their own problems. It gave me the feeling that my experiences were not in vain and that I was able to help others overcome my difficulties. Over time, I began to find less time to think about Megan and focus more on my new life. My relationships with my neighbors and new friends became more and more important, and I began to feel that getting to know people could be just as important as the relationship with the person I once loved. Laura decided to move to another city, and although it was difficult, I realized that it was necessary for both of us. Our relationship was mostly friendly, and I felt that the time had come for us. I was grateful to her for her support and everything she did for me, but I understood that it was time for new beginnings. I continued to do photography and writing. My new home became for me a place where I could fully immerse myself in creativity and find peace. My works became more popular, and I received more and more requests for photo shoots. I managed to find new hobbies and people with whom I could share my interests. I started attending various cultural events and activities, which helped me to reconnect socially and make new friends. Over time, I felt myself begin to enjoy life again. Although the memories of Megan remained a part of me, I learned to live with them and find joy in new experiences. I tried to use my experience to help others who are going through similar difficulties. One of the important events in my new life happened when I met an old friend, John, at a cultural event. John was once a close friend of mine, and our friendship became a casualty of my own self-destruction. We started talking again, and I felt his presence help me regain some of what I had lost. John was very understanding and supportive in all my efforts to find myself again. We talked a lot about the past and how I can move on. His advice and support was important to me, and I felt that maybe my path to healing was the right one. My book gained recognition, and I started giving presentations and meetings with readers. I was grateful for the opportunity to share my experience and help others. It gave me the feeling that my experiences were not in vain and that I was able to create something positive from what happened. I decided to hold a volunteer event where I invited people to share their stories and experiences. It became a platform for sharing experiences and supporting each other. I felt that this project gave me the opportunity to help people find their way to healing and recovery. My new hobbies have become an important part of my life. I started studying painting and even tried writing short stories. It helped me express my feelings and understand how I can turn my experiences into art. One day I got a text from Megan. She wrote that she had read my book and that she was interested in learning about how I deal with the past. She expressed her hope that I had found the peace and happiness I was looking for. Her words were important to me, but I knew that our paths had already diverged. This message was a sign to me that I may have found inner peace. I took this as confirmation that I was moving in the right direction. Although I still felt nostalgic for the past, I also knew that I had built a new life and found my purpose again. My relationship with John and other friends continued to grow. I began to participate in joint activities and events, which helped me to reconnect socially. It became part of my new lifestyle and gave me the opportunity to feel part of a community. I continued to work on my art and writing. My work was getting more and more recognition, and I was grateful for the opportunity to share my experience with others. It gave me a sense of accomplishment and made me feel like I could make a positive impact on the world. Over time, I found a new balance in my life. My work, new hobbies, and relationships with friends have become an important part of my daily life. I knew that my struggle with the past would never be completely over, but I learned to live with it and find joy in each new day. My life began to be filled with new opportunities. I got the opportunity to organize my own art exhibition, which was a new big achievement for me. It gave me even more confidence and made me feel like I was really moving in the right direction. One day I met up with Laura, who was back in town for a few days. We spent time together, and I felt that our communication became more mature and calm. It was an opportunity for both of us to look at the past from a new perspective and really understand each other. Laura told me about her new achievements and how she copes with new challenges. I was happy for her and felt that our communication became more about support and understanding than about the past. Every day, I realized more and more how important it is to keep moving forward, even when the past still echoes in the heart. I learned to take lessons from each experience and use them for my own development. I found a new meaning in life and felt that although my past had left deep wounds, I was able to find a way to heal and build a new reality. My art, my work, and new relationships became part of my new life, and I felt that I could meet each new day with hope and faith in the best. Recently, I started spending more time in nature. I found peace in walks in the woods and mountains, where you could take a break from the noise of the city and focus on yourself. These moments of unity with nature helped me develop inner peace and reconnect with myself. I made new friends among nature and photography lovers. We often went on trips together and spent time admiring the scenery. It became not only a new passion for me, but also an opportunity to find new support and understanding in a community that shares my interests. Once, during one of these trips, I met a woman named Elizabeth who was fond of painting. Her works were impressive and impressed me with their sensuality. We started talking about our art, and I felt we had a lot in common. Elizabeth became my new friend and interlocutor. We shared our thoughts and experiences with each other, and it helped me understand that new relationships can be meaningful and enriching. Her support and understanding was important to me, but I felt again that my heart was still struggling with the attachment to the past. I continued to work on my projects and implement new ideas into life. My exhibitions and works attracted more and more attention, and I felt that my work was beginning to bring me more satisfaction. I also started teaching others by giving photography and painting workshops. Elizabeth and I decided to organize a joint exhibition where we combined our works. It was an important event for both of us, and I felt that this collaboration gave a new impetus to my creativity. The exhibition attracted many visitors, and we received positive feedback. Even though I was trying to find new joys in life, I still had memories of Megan and how I had hurt her. It became part of my healing process, and I tried to learn to live with this pain without letting it interfere with my new life. I started seeing a therapist to work on my inner world. This was an important step in my self-improvement process and helped me better understand my emotions and struggles. I learned to work with my own thoughts and feelings, and I also realized how important it is to find time for self-discovery. In my therapy, I began to explore the themes of forgiveness and letting go. I realized that true forgiveness does not mean forgetting, but allowing yourself to let go of the heavy burden of guilt and allow yourself to move on. This process was difficult, but also important to my healing. I continued to improve my skills and work on new projects. My life began to be filled with new opportunities and perspectives. I began to feel that I was finding harmony and satisfaction in my work and in the relationships I was building. Elizabeth and I continued to work together and support each other in our work. Our relationship grew deeper, but I tried to be careful not to repeat the mistakes of the past. I felt that she brought a new level of understanding and support to my life. My relationship with Megan continued to be a part of my past, but I learned to take it with more equanimity. I understood that although I could not change the past, I could work on my present and future. It allowed me to focus on positive changes and new opportunities in life. One day I received a letter from one of the readers of my book who told me how my story had helped him overcome his own difficulties. This letter meant a lot to me and made me feel like I had really done something meaningful. It confirmed that my experience and my efforts had a real impact. I continued to volunteer and organize events that helped people find support and inspiration. It became a part of my life, and I felt that by trying to help others, I was also helping myself heal and find new meaning. I found a new path in my life that helped me feel happiness and contentment again. My art, my relationships, and my work all became part of a new life, and I felt like I was on the right track. It would be a long time before I could completely forget the past, but I knew that my journey was just beginning. Every day I realized more and more that my life became a new page on which I wrote my own story. My relationship with Elizabeth deepened, and we discussed our future plans together. This was an important step for me as I learned to trust and open up again. I began to feel that our collaboration with Elizabeth, not only in art, but also in life, became an important part of my new path. Her support and understanding helped me realize that I have the opportunity to create new, meaningful relationships without repeating the mistakes of the past. Our joint work on art projects led to new opportunities. We received an invitation to an international exhibition, which was a great honor for both of us. Preparation for this event became a new challenge for me and an opportunity to demonstrate the results of our creative cooperation. On the day of the exhibition, I was full of emotions. It was my first big event where I could show the fruits of my work at the international level. Elizabeth supported me, and I felt that this was an important moment not only for our careers, but also for our personal lives. The exhibition was successful, and our works received positive feedback from visitors and critics. It was a confirmation that our efforts were not in vain, and I felt that this event opened new horizons for our art and for our life together. Over time, I became more confident in my strengths and abilities. My creativity became an important part of my life, and I felt that my efforts were paying off. I started organizing new projects and exhibitions, which gave me a sense of accomplishment and purpose. Elizabeth and I decided to take our relationship a step further. We discussed the possibility of living together and starting a family. This step was difficult for me, but also exciting. I was ready to take on a new phase in my life and build it on a foundation of trust and support. I continued to work on my inner world and further studied the topics of forgiveness and self-acceptance. It became an important part of my life, and I knew that true healing came not only through external achievements, but also through inner harmony. I began to feel that my past no longer had such power over my present. I have learned to live with it as part of my story, but not as a defining factor in my life. It gave me the opportunity to feel real freedom and peace. My creativity continued to develop, and I received new opportunities for self-expression. My work became part of various collections and projects, and I felt that my art really mattered to others. Elizabeth and I continued to work together and support each other in all our endeavors. Our relationship became even deeper and more meaningful, and I felt that I had found true happiness and support in our life together. I began to think about the importance of appreciating the moments of happiness and harmony that I found in my life. I've learned to find joy in the little things and not focus on what I've lost, but on what I have now. I became part of a new community of creative people, and it gave me the opportunity to continue to grow and develop. I felt that my life had become richer and more meaningful, and I was grateful for every new experience. The inner harmony I achieved gave me the opportunity to look at my life from a new perspective. I realized that my past and my mistakes do not define me as a person, and that I have the opportunity to create a better future for myself and those I love. I continued to build my life on the basis of love, trust, and support. My new life was an important step in my personal growth, and I felt that I had found my place in the world where I could be happy and authentic. My new stage in life brought not only personal achievements, but also new challenges. I started getting requests to participate in cultural events and seminars where I could share my experience and knowledge. It was not only an opportunity for me to grow, but also a chance to help others. Elizabeth and I decided to focus on philanthropy. We organized an art auction in support of organizations that help people going through difficult life situations. It gave us the opportunity to use our art for good and further strengthened our relationship. My relationships with loved ones also became more meaningful. I started spending more time with my family and friends who have supported me all these years. It allowed me to feel like I was finding balance in my life again. Lately, I often think back to moments when my life was in crisis. I felt that these memories no longer hurt me, but on the contrary, helped me appreciate what I have now. My past became part of my personal development and taught me to be stronger. In our joint activity with Elizabeth, we started a new project, a series of master classes for young artists. This became an opportunity for us to transfer our knowledge and experience to the new generation and support young talents. During one of these workshops, I met a young artist named Alex. He was very gifted but had difficulty finding his style. I took him under my wing and helped him develop as an artist. Alex became my student and friend. I helped him not only in the technical aspects of painting, but also in personal matters. His progress was noticeable, and I felt proud that I could help someone find their way. One day during a joint project with Alex, I happened to meet Megan. It was unexpected and exciting. We talked, and I felt that over time our conversation became calmer and more mature. We discussed our past and how each of us had changed since then. Megan said she was happy with my success and the way I had changed. I felt that even though our paths had diverged, she really appreciated what I had achieved. This conversation was significant for me because it gave me the opportunity to close one of the chapters of my past. My collaboration with Elizabeth and new projects continued to develop. I felt that my life had become stable and satisfying, and I was ready for new challenges and opportunities. My journey to healing and self-realization continued, but I knew it was worth all the effort. Elizabeth and I continued to develop our charitable initiatives. One such initiative was to create an art gallery where everyone could exhibit their work to raise funds to support social projects. This marked a new stage in our work and helped us focus even more on what we can do for others. My relationship with Alex continued to grow. He became a successful artist and found his place in the art world. I was proud that I could help him in his development and show by my own example how important it is to keep fighting for his dreams. Over time, I began to appreciate even more the moments of peace and joy that I found in my life. I learned to find harmony in daily activities and to celebrate achievements that may have seemed insignificant before. My exhibitions continued to receive recognition, and I felt that my work was having a positive impact on others. It gave me a sense of accomplishment and made me appreciate being able to share my art even more. I started traveling more and learning about new cultures. It allowed me to expand my horizons and be inspired by new ideas. I felt that every new trip and meeting helped me grow as a person and as an artist. My relationship with Elizabeth continued to grow stronger. We planned our future together and discussed our shared dreams. I felt that I had found a person with whom I could share all the joys and difficulties of life. After several years together, we decided to take an important step, to buy a joint house. It was a symbol of our life together and our plans for the future. We chose every detail with love and attention to create a space that reflects our shared dreams. Moving to a new house was a new beginning for us. We created new traditions, filled the space with joyful moments, and celebrated every success achieved. It was a symbol of our new life together and proof that true happiness can be found even after hard times. We continued to develop our projects and support charitable initiatives. My collaborations with other artists and organizations became an important part of my life, and I felt like we were really doing something meaningful for our community. I learned to appreciate every moment and use it for personal growth. My life became filled with joy and gratitude for all the opportunities I had. I knew that every day is a new opportunity for self-expression and self-improvement. After moving into a new house, Elizabeth and I decided to make our space more functional for our creative process. We equipped a drawing studio and a photo studio where we could implement our ideas and work on new projects. It helped us create even more masterpieces and realize our creative dreams. Lately, I've become even more interested in art history. I visited museums and galleries, studied the works of great artists of the past, and tried to understand their techniques and approaches. It gave me new ideas for my works and helped develop my style. During one of my visits to the museum, I met an art critic named James. He was very interested in my work and offered to conduct an interview. This was an important step for me, as his recognition could help me gain even more attention for my work. The interview with James was a great success. He praised my works and noted their unique style. This brought new popularity and the opportunity to participate in major cultural events. I felt that my art had finally received the recognition I had been waiting for. With success comes new challenges. I began to feel the pressure of constant expectation and the need to maintain a high level of quality in my work. It was a tough challenge, but I tried to keep my balance and continue to work creatively without succumbing to stress. Elizabeth became my main source of support during these difficult times. Her understanding and love helped me cope with the pressure and find new sources of inspiration. We worked together on new projects and supported each other in all endeavors. One day, during our joint project, I felt that I was losing my creative spark. I sought help from a psychologist to understand what had happened. This was an important step, and I began to work on regaining my creativity and finding new ways to express myself. The process of self-recovery helped me find joy and creativity again. I started experimenting with new techniques and materials, which allowed me to create some unique and exciting works. It was an important moment in my life when I realized that sometimes you have to step back in order to find a new way forward. With new strength and ideas, I continued to work on my projects. I organized a series of exhibitions where I presented my new works and shared my experience with other artists. It helped me feel again that my work matters and brings joy to others. My relationship with Elizabeth became even deeper. We planned our future together and discussed all important issues. I felt that I found a person with whom I can not only share my life, but also create something meaningful together. Elizabeth and I decided to implement a new initiative, the creation of an art institute for young artists. It was an ambitious project that would allow young talent to access the resources and support they need to develop their careers. The Art Institute project was a great success. We received support from local sponsors and organizations, and the institute quickly became an important part of the cultural life of the city. I felt proud that we could create something so important and useful for young artists. After the successful launch of the institute, Elizabeth and I decided to celebrate our achievements with a trip to Europe. It was an opportunity to visit new places, find new inspiration, and take a break from the daily routine. The trip brought us a lot of joy and new experiences. During our trip, we visited several notable museums and galleries. I was impressed by the works of great masters and found new ideas for my creativity. These impressions helped me understand myself even more as an artist and inspired me for new projects. We returned home with a new charge of energy and inspiration. I continued to work on my projects and bring new elements to my art. My life became more fulfilling, and I felt that every day brought new opportunities. Our joint work with Elizabeth continued to bring us joy and success. We organized new exhibitions and charity events, which allowed us not only to share our art, but also to do something useful for society. I continued to improve my skills and learn new techniques. My art has become even more expressive and diverse. I felt that I had found my place in the world and was able to realize my dreams. One day I received a letter from an old friend who told me about his achievements and news. It was a sign that even after all the trials and changes, our connections and relationships continue to be important. I was grateful to be able to keep in touch with people who were a part of my life. Elizabeth and I decided to spend some time together in a quiet place to celebrate our journey and achievements. It was a moment of relaxation and enjoyment of what we had built together. Together, we reviewed our plans for the future and discussed new ideas. I realized that life can be full of joy and fulfillment of dreams, even after difficult times. I felt that my life was full of meaning and that I could be happy and grateful for all the opportunities it gave me. After the rest, we plunged into work again, full of new ideas and projects. One of our big initiatives was to create an online course platform for young artists where they could learn from professionals and get feedback on their work. The launch of the online platform was a real success. We received a lot of positive feedback from young artists who were grateful for the opportunity to learn from leading artists from around the world. It brought us even more joy and satisfaction from our work. My relationship with Elizabeth continued to grow stronger. We worked together on new projects and spent time together, enjoying every moment. I felt that I had found a true partner with whom we could realize our dreams. Lately, I've been thinking about the importance of seizing the moment and being grateful for everything in life. I found a new way to express myself through art, creating works that reflected my gratitude and joy for life. My new works have become a reflection of my inner world. I decided to organize an exhibition dedicated to the theme of gratitude and joy. It was a project that helped me share my feelings and inspire others to make positive changes in their lives. The exhibition attracted a lot of attention. People came to look at my works and express their impressions. I felt that this event was important not only for me, but also for those who found inspiration and support in my works. Over time, Elizabeth and I decided to focus on a new project, creating art resorts for artists, where they could relax, get new ideas, and enjoy nature. It was our way of sharing our experience and providing artists with an opportunity for renewal and inspiration. Art resorts have become popular among artists and creative people. We received a lot of positive feedback and noted how our projects helped others find new ideas and renew their creativity. It was another way we could support and inspire others. My relationship with my family has become even closer. I started visiting family and friends more often, spending time with them and sharing my achievements. It was an important part of my life and helped me feel supported and loved by loved ones. I continued to develop my creativity and study new directions in art. My works have become even more expressive and diverse. I felt like I had found my true identity as an artist and continued to pursue my dreams. Elizabeth and I continued to work on joint projects and enjoy every moment together. We planned our future and discussed new ideas that would help us continue to grow and develop as individuals and artists. One day I received an offer to participate in a large international exhibition. It was an opportunity to present my work on the world stage and gain new recognition. I was touched and happy that my work could reach such a large audience. Preparation for the international exhibition was difficult, but exciting. I worked on my works with great enthusiasm and dedication to get them ready for the exhibition. This process helped me to appreciate even more the importance of art in my life. The exhibition was a success, and I received a lot of positive feedback from critics and visitors. It was an important achievement in my career and gave me new confidence in my creativity. I felt that my efforts and work were appreciated. After a successful exhibition, Elizabeth and I decided to celebrate our achievements with a trip to South America. It was an opportunity to relax, enjoy nature, and discover new cultures. The trip brought us a lot of joy and new experiences. During the trip, we visited several beautiful and impressive places that inspired us with new ideas. I started working on a series of works that reflected our journey and the new experiences we had. My new works have become a reflection of our experience and interests. I decided to organize an exhibition dedicated to our journey and the topic of discovering new cultures. It was an important part of my creative process and allowed me to share my experiences with others. The exhibition attracted a lot of attention and I received a lot of positive feedback. People were impressed by my works and noted how they captured the atmosphere and beauty of the places I visited. It became a new stage in my career and helped me appreciate my creativity even more. Elizabeth and I continued to work on new projects and enjoy life together. I felt that I had found my place in the world and that my life was full of meaning and joy. We planned our future together and were grateful for all the opportunities that life gave us. Now looking back, I see how much I have changed and what I have achieved. My life became filled with joy, achievements, and love. I feel grateful for every moment and for the fact that I was able to find my place in the world of art and in life. Despite all the achievements and joys, I could not help but sometimes feel the shadows of the past. Memories of betrayal and loss still tormented me, although I tried to keep them out of my life. They remained in the depths of my memory, sometimes appearing at the most unexpected moments. I started journaling, trying to sort out my feelings and understand how my past affects my present. It helped me understand myself better and work on my inner balance. Through writing, I found a way to cope with the pain and find new ways to express my emotions. In the process of keeping a diary, I realized that my life cannot be defined only by the mistakes and betrayals of the past. I began to focus on the positive changes that had taken place and the people who had supported me all these years. It gave me a new perspective and helped me see life in a different light. One day I received a letter from one of my first students telling me how my art and lessons had affected his life. This letter was incredibly moving and reminded me of why I started my art. It was an important moment for me that helped me find meaning in my work again. Elizabeth and I decided to create a fund to support young artists, which would help them realize their ideas and get the necessary resources for development. It was our way to give something back to society and help those who are just starting their creative journey. The foundation received a lot of support from sponsors and partners. We organized several charity events and exhibitions that helped raise funds to support young artists. It was another step in our journey together and an opportunity to share our achievements with others. I continued to work on my projects and improve my skills. My works have become even more expressive and deep. I felt that my art became a part of my self-expression and helped me understand my feelings. Over time, I started organizing workshops for young artists where I shared my experience and techniques. It was an important part of my work that helped me pass on my knowledge and inspiration to the next generation of artists. One day, I received an invitation from a major international gallery to participate in a group exhibition on contemporary art. It was a significant step in my career, and I felt that my art was finally recognized on the world stage. The preparation for the exhibition was intense. but I worked on my works with great enthusiasm. It was a chance to present my art to a new audience and show how far I've come over the years. The exhibition was a great success. My works have been highly appreciated by critics and visitors, and I have received many positive feedbacks. It was a confirmation that my efforts and work were worth everything I went through. After the exhibition, I felt that I had reached a new level in my career. I continued to work on new projects and enjoy life with Elizabeth. We planned our future together and built new dreams. Despite all the progress, I continued to refer to my journal from time to time. It was my way of dealing with the past and understanding how it affects my present. I learned to accept my emotions and find a way to move forward. My relationship with Elizabeth became even stronger. We experienced both joys and difficulties together, supporting each other in all endeavors. I felt that I had found my soulmate with whom I could share all aspects of life. Recently, I started experimenting with new materials and techniques in my works. It gave me a new opportunity to explore different styles and express my ideas even more creatively. I felt that my art became even more diverse and exciting. Elizabeth and I decided to create a book about our life and work, where we talked about our achievements and experiences. It was a way to share our experiences with others and inspire them to be creative and express themselves. The book received positive reviews from readers and critics. People noted how she helped them understand more about the creative process and the importance of support in achieving their dreams. This was another important achievement in our life. We continued to work on new projects and enjoy every moment together. I felt that my life was filled with meaning and joy, and that I had found my place in the world. My art and my relationships have become a source of inspiration and satisfaction. After the success of the book and new projects, I began to think about what to do next. I decided to continue to develop as an artist and share my experience with others. My plans were aimed at creating new works and reaching new heights in art. Always leaving a part of myself in each work, I felt that art became my way of expression and self-identification. I continued to look for new ways to express myself and find inspiration in the world around me. My work on new projects has become even more exciting. I decided to try to create a series of paintings depicting different stages of human life. It was an ambitious project that required a lot of concentration and inspiration. While working on this series of paintings, I turned to my journal again. The recordings helped me better understand how I can express deep emotions and feelings through art. I used this knowledge to convey human experiences in my works. In the process of creating a series of paintings, I met many people who shared their personal stories with me. Their experiences inspired me with new ideas and helped me to immerse myself even more in my creative process. Elizabeth and I continued to organize charity exhibitions and events to support young artists. These events became an important part of our lives and helped us stay in touch with the creative environment. One day, I received a message from an old friend who suggested that I participate in a joint project. It was an opportunity to combine our creative forces and create something unique. I was happy to accept this offer and start a new phase in my career. Preparation for the joint project was exciting. We worked together on the concept and design, combining our styles and ideas. This process became a new challenge for me and allowed me to once again feel the joy of joint creative work. After several months of work on the project, we presented our results at a large exhibition. The works received positive reviews and attracted the attention of both critics and visitors. It was a great success and proof that co-creation can be very powerful. Elizabeth and I continued to develop our foundation and organize new projects. Our life has become even more intense and exciting. We got a lot of satisfaction from being able to help others and share our achievements. I continued to work on my series of paintings, which became more and more expressive and deep. I felt that my art became part of my self-expression and helped me better understand myself and my emotions. Thanks to new projects and joint efforts, Elizabeth and I were able to realize many ideas and dreams. Our life became full of joys and achievements, and I felt that I had found my place in the world of art and in my personal sphere. My relationship with Elizabeth continued to grow stronger. We went through all the challenges together and enjoyed every moment together. I felt that our connection became even stronger, and this brought me great joy and satisfaction. Over time, I began to think about how to further develop my career and art. I decided to try new directions and experiment with different techniques to find new ways of expressing my ideas. During one of my experiments, I discovered a new technique that allowed me to create even more expressive and detailed works. It was a new step in my creative process, which opened new possibilities for me. With the new technique, I began to work on a series of paintings that reflect different aspects of the human soul. This series became one of my most significant works and attracted much attention among colleagues and critics. After the success of a new series of paintings, I received an invitation to an international art festival. It was an important step in my career, which allowed me to present my work on the world stage and meet other outstanding artists. Preparation for the festival was intense, but exciting. I have been working on my works to get them ready for the exhibition. It was a chance to show off your creativity and share your experience with others. The festival was a success, and my works received high praise from critics and visitors. It was a confirmation that my efforts and work were worth everything I went through. I felt that my career had reached new heights. With the success of the festival, Elizabeth and I decided to take a short vacation and rest from work. It was an opportunity to enjoy time together and renew energy for new projects. During our vacation, we visited some beautiful places and enjoyed nature. This time helped us recover and return to work with new ideas and inspiration. After the vacation, I returned to work on new projects with renewed energy. I continued to develop as an artist and find new ways to express my ideas. It was a new stage in my creative process. Elizabeth and I continued to organize charity events and support young artists. Our foundation continued to grow and receive new opportunities to help others. It has become an important part of our life and career. I started working on a new project that combined art and technology. It was an opportunity to explore new directions and find new ways of expressing one's ideas. The project became a real challenge and brought a lot of joy and satisfaction. The project combining art and technology attracted a lot of attention. We organized several exhibitions and events that helped popularize new ideas and show how technology can be used to create art. My works have become even more expressive and diverse thanks to new techniques and approaches. I felt that my art became part of my self-expression and helped me better understand myself and my emotions. Elizabeth and I continued to work on new projects and enjoy every moment together. I felt that our lives had become even more fulfilling and exciting and that we had found our place in the world. Over time, I realized that my art became an important part of my life and helped me find my place in the world. I continued to develop as an artist and find new ways to express my ideas. Elizabeth and I decided to spend time together and celebrate our achievements. It was an opportunity to enjoy success and take a break from work. I felt that our life had become even more rich and exciting. After celebrating our achievements, I returned to work on new projects. I continued to look for new ideas and inspiration to make my works even more expressive and interesting. With new ideas and projects, I continued to develop my art and look for new opportunities to express my ideas. My life became filled with joy and satisfaction, and I felt that I had found my place in the world. Elizabeth and I continued to support each other and share our achievements. Our life has become even more rich and exciting thanks to joint projects and new ideas. Lately, I've started to feel like I've achieved all I can with my art. My life and career have achieved stability and satisfaction. I decided it was time to share my experience with other artists and give them the opportunity to learn and grow. Elizabeth and I organized masterclasses for young artists, where I shared my knowledge and techniques. It was a new stage in my career, and I felt that it was an opportunity to give a part of myself to society and help the next generation of artists. The masterclasses were a great success. The young artists were grateful for the opportunity to learn from me and receive support. It inspired me and gave me a sense of satisfaction that I could help others. Over time, I began to think about how I could influence the art world even more. I decided to create a foundation that would support young artists and provide them with resources for development. It was my way of contributing to culture and art. The fund quickly gained popularity and received support from many sponsors. We organized several charity events and exhibitions that helped raise funds to support young artists. It has become an important part of our life and career. My works have become even more expressive and diverse thanks to new ideas and approaches. I continued to experiment with different techniques and materials to find new ways to express my ideas. Elizabeth and I continued to enjoy every moment together and support each other in all our endeavors. Our life has become even more full and exciting thanks to joint projects and achievements. After several years of hard work and achievements, I felt it was time to take a break and rest. We went on a trip to enjoy new experiences and renew energy for future projects. The trip brought us new impressions and inspiration. We visited some beautiful places and enjoyed our time together. It helped us recover and get back to work with new ideas and plans. After returning from the trip, I felt that my life had reached a new level of satisfaction and harmony. My relationship with Elizabeth was strong and happy, and my career became even more successful and satisfying. I found new ways to express my ideas and help other artists achieve their dreams. It was the moment of the end of one stage and the beginning of a new one, with the feeling that I had achieved everything I wanted and that my life had become full and harmonious. After I returned from my trip, my life became even more full and balanced. Elizabeth and I have found new ways to enjoy our time together and support each other in all our endeavors. With new plans and ideas, I started working on a project that combined art with social initiatives. We decided to create a series of exhibitions highlighting important social issues in order to draw attention to problems that need to be solved. This project was an important step in my career. It allowed me to combine art with activism and use my skills to support important social change. It was a new and exciting challenge that brought a lot of satisfaction. The exhibitions we organized were very popular and drew attention to important social issues. It was a great success and proof that art can be a powerful tool for social change. We continued to develop our projects and find new ways to support social initiatives. It became an important part of our lives and careers, and we felt proud to be able to do something meaningful. Over time, I began to feel that my life had become stable and harmonious. I found new ways to express my ideas and continued to grow as an artist. It was a time of pleasure and self-improvement. Elizabeth and I decided to organize a large charity event that would unite artists and activists to support social initiatives. It was an opportunity to raise funds and draw attention to important issues. The event was successful, and we raised a significant amount of funds to support social projects. It was a great success and confirmation that we can make a significant contribution to society. My works have become even more diverse and expressive thanks to new ideas and projects. I felt that I had found my place in the world of art and activism, and that my life had become even more fulfilling and fulfilling. After all the achievements and successes I experienced, I felt that my life had become complete and harmonious. My relationship with Elizabeth was strong and happy, and my career and social initiatives brought me great satisfaction. I found new ways to express my ideas and support important causes, which became the basis for my happy and fulfilled life. It was the moment of the end of one stage and the beginning of a new one, with confidence in the future and a feeling of deep satisfaction with what has been achieved. Recently, I felt that my life was taking on new shades. I began to explore new directions in art, in particular in digital technologies and interactive forms. It opened up new horizons and opportunities for creativity. One day I received an invitation to an international forum for innovations in art. It was a great opportunity to present their new works and see how technology can influence artistic expression. I was excited and ready for this new phase. The forum was a great success. I presented my new series of digital works, which received high praise from participants and critics. It confirmed my assumptions that the integration of technology and art can create something unique and exciting. After the forum, I started getting requests to participate in new projects and exhibitions that focus on digital and interactive art forms. It was a new challenge and an opportunity for me to develop in this direction. I decided to organize an exhibition of my digital works in my hometown to share my experience and achievements with the local community. It was a way to get back to my roots and celebrate my achievements with people who have been with me from the beginning. The exhibition in his hometown attracted a lot of attention and caused positive feedback. People were amazed by the new technological approaches to art, and it inspired me to keep experimenting and looking for new ways of expression. With new ideas and plans, I continued to develop my projects. My works became even more interactive and innovative, which allowed me to experiment with new forms and technologies. Over time, I felt that my art became part of a larger movement combining traditional and new forms of expression. I found new ways to implement my ideas and support social initiatives. My relationship with Elizabeth remained strong, and our life became even more rich and harmonious. It was a moment when I confidently looked to the future, knowing that my path in art and life had become even more meaningful and exciting.